Balarama, a Royal Elephant by Ted and Betsy Lewin. Huge and magnificent elephants stir the imagination like no other animal on earth. In India, these mammoth creatures are honored and admired, and for centuries they have been a part of religious culture and social life throughout the country. In years past, the elephants of Karipur forest in southern India were in great demand. Maharas, the Hindu kings of the land, wanted trained elephants for public festivities, and local people needed them for heavy work. From the 1880s until about the 1970s, roundups were used to capture elephants in pit traps called kedas. A very large, deep pit was dug and covered with a thin layer of branches and leaves. When a herd of wild elephants was spotted, dozens of men using drums, gongs, fire, and firecrackers would drive the elephants into the pit. Once the elephants fell into the kedah, the area was surrounded by a stockade made of stout logs lashed together. After a week or two, the elephants were pulled out with the help of logs and already tamed elephants ridden by the mahouts or trainers. Only then did the process of training the exhausted, dazed creatures begin. Because of the pain and suffering inflicted on the elephants, kedahs are outlawed now. Today, great herds of these giant wild animals move peacefully through the Karipur forest. The forest is also home to many camp or trained elephants that are used for festivals and work. Some of these elephants were captured before the kedahs became illegal. Others have been born to camp elephants. The animals are cared for and trained by their mahouts, who live side by side with the elephants in the forest. Mahouts have a deep, lifelong connection with their animals. The sons of mahouts often become elephant trainers too. The greatest of all the camp elephants are the royal elephants. Elephant camp. From the city of Mysore, we head out with a car and driver for the Karipur forest near Nagarhole National Park. We are on our way to see the elephants of southern India. We drive under an arch of banyan trees planted years ago by the Mahara as a place for weary travelers to rest out the blazing sun. Palm tree-lined rice paddies border the roads for miles. In the Karipur forest, we meet up with our guide, Sundar, and take off in his open jeep. Before long, a lumbering elephant and her calf appear on the track ahead. The bell hanging loosely from her neck makes a haunting and mournful sound. The elephant has a fresh wound on her belly. She is out in the forest night foraging for food and was attacked by an aggressive bull elephant. But it's a deep puncture wound from the bull's tusk. But the elephant mahout says she will be all right. The elephant stops next to our jeep. From our seats, we look into one of her huge brown eyes. We've never looked into an elephant's eyes before, we say. The long, thick broom of her lashes descends and rises in a slow, solemn blink. We follow the two elephants as they plod on to the camp, a group of mud huts with tiled roofs deep in the forest. There are 5 more elephants in the camp being cared for by their mahouts. At one of the camp is a small temple with elephant bells hanging from the eaves. Painted on the doorstep of the temple of Ragoli, a symbol of good luck and welcome. Women in bright, colorful clothes carry jugs of water on their heads. They walk slowly past the elephants and into their houses. There is a young elephant in the camp that already weighs about 800 pounds. He's a little handful of mischief, Sundar says. The elephant loves to chase children, blowing them over and making them scatter as he runs through the camp. Sundar stands in the smoke drifting up from a big pot of elephant mash. The smells that baking bread. The mash is a mixture of water, salt, millet, and gram flour. It is very nutritious, and the children love it as much as the elephants. The Mahat's children surround Sundar. They know by heart the story he is about to tell. We join them. Drona, the lead royal elephant, is very clever. He loves bananas. He knows that every week a big truck loaded with bananas comes up from the forest road. One day, as soon as Drona smelled the bananas, he walked to the road and waited near the top of a hill. Drona watched as the truck came slowly into view. Nearing the top of the hill, the driver shifted gears and pushed down onto the gas pedal. Nothing happened. The truck wouldn't budge. The driver and his helper couldn't understand why they weren't moving forward. Then the driver glanced in the rearview mirror, and all he saw was an elephant. Drona had grabbed the back of the truck with his trunk and was holding the truck in place. The men were so frightened they leaped from a cab and ran into the forest. Drona then tipped over the truck and ate all but one case of bananas. The children laughed as they were hearing the story for the first time. We asked Sundar if we could see Drona. He says Drona is at another camp near the Kabini River. He will take us there. During our drive to the camp, Sundar tells us that Drona is a mighty Tusker. He was chosen many years ago as the Ambari elephant, the highest honor an elephant can receive. The Ambari elephant is the lead royal elephant of the Mahara of Mysore's annual parade through the city on the last day of Dasara, a centuries-old royal and religious festival. The last day commemorates the Hindu goddess Chamundasarari and celebrates the triumph of good over evil. Drona was selected as the Ambari elephant mostly for his distinctive aura, the special energy that radiates from him. At the camp, we are met by Drona's Mahout. He tells us to wait, then disappears into the forest. He returns talking softly to the huge beast at his side. Drona's forehead is massive, his tusks thick and pointed. He faces us, and his ears come forward. He is magnificent. We feel his aura strongly. Drona is very friendly to everyone, Sundar says, but you should see him when he carries the gold. He takes on a royal attitude then. He even walks with a different gait. It's as if he is telling the other elephants to follow him. We decide that we must return the following year to see Drona carry the gold. 1 year later, we are back in southern India for Dasara and are looking forward to seeing Drona lead the parade. But when we meet up with Sundar, he has bad news. I'm sorry to tell you that Drona is dead, Sundar says. He was feeding along the road near the elephant camp. There was plenty to eat everywhere. Why he decided to graze near the road instead of the forest, who knows? Drona had pulled down a large tree branch in order to eat the leaves. The falling branch struck an electrical line and Drona was electrocuted. Everyone in Mysore was saddened. His Mahout and the others who lived in the elephant camp were devastated. They felt as if they had lost their best friend. Would you like to see Drona's grave? Sundar asked. Yes, very much, we say. Sundar drives us to a high, lush bank overlooking the Kabini River. There, Drona's grave is marked with a large, tree-tiered pink marble tablet. Drona's huge body was buried beneath a stone. Offerings of wildflowers are scattered atop the grave. We feel as we too have lost a friend. We stand quietly for a while, then place our own wildflowers among them. The next day in Mysore, we meet Nagara, our official guide for Dasara. He offers to introduce us to Balarama, the elephant chosen to take Drona's place. It will be Balarama's first time leading the Mahara's parade, his first time carrying the golden hadao, an 800-pound ceremonial carriage made of wood, sheathed in gold. Inside sits a statue of goddess Chamarundeshwari. It's a short walk from our hotel to Mahari's place, where the parade will begin. Some people think there will never be another Ambari elephant like Drona, says Nagara. Balarama may not have the aura of Drona, but he's an impressive animal. We follow along as Nagara leads us across the palace grounds to the stables. Balarama was brought here from the forest a few days ago to get used to the city. At first, Balarama's mahout does not want to let us see the prize elephant in his charge. He steps in front of the stall's small barred window and waves us away. Nagara holds out his official badge, and the mahout relents. He opens the large stable door and calls quietly to the elephant within. Slowly, Balarama emerges. He peeks out high above us. Then his brightly painted head and shoulders appear. He is very impressive. We back away in awe. Balarama breathes heavily. He sways back and forth. His presence is overwhelmingly. Hearts pounding, we get back away still further and nod, okay, to the mahout. He seems relieved as Balarama slowly retreats into his stall. We think Balarama has plenty of aura. A short while later, the mahouts mount their elephants, then amble over to a shady courtyard in the corner of the palace grounds. Gorgeous silk and satin drapes dazzle us as they are thrown over the elephants and spill down their sides. Once the elephants are dressed, they are led off to a marble pool shaded by huge mango trees. The animals drink their fill of the cool, refreshing water. Balarama, the Ambari elephant. Look, look, Balarama is coming, the crowd shouts. The majestic Balarama and his mahout slowly cross the palace grounds and enter the dressing area. Standing on a platform at the base of a tree, Balarama's mahout gently embraces the elephant's huge head and the tusk extending like ivory railings on either side. The mahout strokes Balarama's eyelashes while the tip of the elephant's trunk whisks nervously back and forth on the ground. The dressing begins. Silken drapes are spread over Balarama. Then the golden hadao is placed on his back. Mahouts position Balarama below special equipment that gently lowers the hadao. It is a slow, delicate task. Balarama's big moment is fast approaching. We are excited and nervous for him. It is important that he stay calm and not be distracted by the crowds and noise. We hope Balarama will make a good impression in his debut as the Ambari elephant. Family under a blazing sun, the ceremony begins. Clip, clop, clip, clop. First come the mounted police guards, turbaned riders carrying long flag-topped lances, sitting tall and straight in their saddles. Then units of cadets, soldiers, and more police guards pour into the big square in front of the palace. All units snap to attention. excellent hangs in the superheated air. Onlookers crane their necks to see. Then there is Balarama, carrying the golden hadal. Balarama's Mahout turns him to face the stage full of dignitaries in front of the palace. After the chief minister performs a puja, a ritual blessing, the crowd cheers, tossing flowers in the air and all over Balarama. When the ceremony ends, Balarama turns and faces the people packed into the palace grounds. The hadal sways and sparkles in the sunlight. Balarama's big moment is about to begin. Balarama moves majestically toward one of the palace gates, leading a mile-long procession. Band after band and unit after unit of guards and soldiers march smartly past the stage, following Balarama onto the packed streets of Mysore. Throngs of people push forward to see Balarama in his first ceremonial parade. We are busting with pride. He is doing great. Next come the performers. Colorfully costumed stilt walkers strut by as dancers wildly twirl and leap to the beat of a dozen drums. Thump, thump, boom, 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 ba-boom, clack, clack, crack, crack. Men stage fierce fights with long bamboo sticks to the sharp sounds of wood on wood. A final line of elephant appears, their silk drapes shimmering in the brilliant light. The last of the parade files through the palace gate. Caught up in the thrill and excitement of the spectacle, we join the crush of people moving out into the street. The day after. It is early morning on the palace grounds. Balarama, his big day over, is quietly feeding outside the stables. The splendid paintings on his body have faded. His Mahout squats at his feet. We walk up close. You did a great job, Balarama, we say. At the sound of our voices, Balarama turns toward us. His ears flap softly, and his trunk whisks slowly back and forth. With each breath, little puffs of dust rise from the ground. He looks so peaceful and contented. Later, we see an article in the Times of India. Balarama is front page news. The caption under his picture in the newspaper reads, Elephant Balarama, chosen to carry the golden hadal for the first time in Mysore Dasara procession, gave a flawless performance. We cut our Balarama's photograph from the paper to remind us of this glorious event. We also think about Drona and how for a whole year we had looked forward to seeing him carry the gold. But now Balarama has won the hearts of all who saw him proudly carrying the golden hadal. He is truly the Ambari elephant, the greatest of the royal elephants. Elephant facts. Elephants are the largest animals that live on land. They are found in both Asia and Africa. All elephants are endangered. Centuries of hunting and habitat destruction have caused severe declines in their numbers. In India today, protecting elephant population is important for their survival and to the country's rich cultural and social and religious heritage. Asian elephants, also known as Indian elephants, and African elephants vary in several physical characteristics. An elephant's trunk has tens of thousands of individual muscles. Elephants use their trunks to tear down large tree limbs and to pick up tiny objects. They also use their trunks to squirt water over their backs and into their mouths and to blow dirt over their backs during dust baths. Elephants fan their ears to cool off. The fanning creates a breeze that cools the blood vessels near the surface of the ears. The cooled blood then circulates to the rest of the body. In the hottest part of the day, elephants often seek out the water or the shade of trees. Tusks are elongated, greatly enlarged teeth. Just as humans are right-handed or left-handed, elephants are right-tusked or left-tusked. Elephants use their tusks to dig for water, salt, and roots to move tree branches and branches out of their way. Tusks are also used as weapons when fighting. Elephants have wide, padded feet, so in spite of their great size and weight, they are able to walk quietly. They walk at a speed of about 4 miles per hour and can run for short distances. Elephants are vegetarians, and they travel long distances in search for food. Adults eat about 300 pounds of food a day. In the wild, their diet includes grasses, herbs, leaves, roots, bark, and fruits. Elephants also drink between 19 and 24 gallons of water daily. Elephants communicate via growls, rumbles, bellows, and moans. Some of these low-frequency sounds may travel more than a mile. Elephants also trumpet loudly when they are excited, surprised, anxious, or attacking. Female elephants give birth every 3 to 6 years, depending on the habitat. They are pregnant for 20 to 22 months. Usually only one calf is born. Elephant calves can weigh between 200 and 300 pounds at birth and are about 3 feet tall. They are able to stand and walk 2 hours after they are born. Female and young male elephants live in herds of related adults and their offspring. The oldest female is usually in charge. Males leave the herd when they are around 13 years old and travel alone or in groups with other young males. Elephants live to be 50 to 70 years old. Royal Elephants of Mysore Dasara. The participants of elephants in a central part of Mysore Dasara celebration. The stories of the royal elephants, especially the Ambari elephants, are a part of local history and legends. These are the most recent lead elephants. Balarama, a majestic animal about 10 feet tall with tusks 2 feet long. He was a grand-looking animal and was reported to have increased the glory of Mysore Dasara during the mid-20th century. Balarama was loyal, always obedient with his mahout. Rajendra was caught in 1971. Also, he served as the lead elephant. He was said to have been easily influenced and distracted from his duties by the presence of female elephants. His mahout felt like that Rajendra was always looking for a compatible mate and never found true love. Drona was introduced to the Dasari festivities in 1982. He was a massive animal with a unique innate ability to move his muscles selectively to adjust for the shifting weight of the golden hada. During the procession, Drona attained almost celebrity status because of his graceful gait, and gentle behavior. One day in 1998, Drona went grazing and pulled down a branch so he could eat the leaves. The falling branch also brought down a power line, and Drona was electrocuted instantly. Arjuna was the elephant being trained to succeed Drona. Arjuna and another elephant went to bathe in a river one day. While crossing a road, the elephants were startled by a noisy vehicle. In the chaos that followed, the other elephant's mahout fell and was accidentally trampled and killed by Arjuna. People felt that an elephant that had killed a person was not fit to participate in Dasari festivities. Balarama began carrying the golden hada in 1998. At first, some people felt he was not outgoing enough. He also needed a special training so he could withstand the noise of the loud cannon fire that occurs during the parade. Balarama overcame these problems and became a star attraction of the Mysore Dasara. He led the procession for the last time in October 2011. In 2012, Arjuna became the new lead elephant, having overcome earlier concerns about his character and proven himself to be strong and calm. Here are some glossary and pronunciation guides.